Hi everyone, sorry for ruining your elevator music experience there, but we'll be getting started with the October 2023 GSM shortly. We'll be going in just over 3 minutes' time. Just a reminder for anyone who is joining us in Discord or in game, we do have the meeting live channel enabled. That's the meeting live channel in the staff meetings category in Discord, or the or the command is /E in game to talk in there.
The chat channel is enabled for Discord. Not sure what Elite's talking about.
Jasper, hopefully you can hear us now.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, there you go.
And let's clip that to put as a disco audio file. Or that.
Well, considering this is a daycare, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, Simon, the only permission I changed was just turn send messages for everyone in Meeting Live. I think that should have been enough to, well, as you can see, other people can type in that Meeting Live channel.
Yeah, everyone should be able to speak.
This is the first meeting where Chief's disrupting the meeting from outside staff. This is very weird. Is he gonna keep doing this every meeting?
Please do.
Please no.
So that is now 1950 UTC, so we'll get started with the public portion. So welcome everyone to the October 2023 General Staff Meeting held on the 8th of October. As you'll all know, we're late coming into the meeting channel because we have had a private portion before we've joined you. We've reviewed 2 cities for the rank of Premier, which is dealt with in a private portion. Those being Nuke and New Chandigarh. Now, when it comes to Premier promotions, we do apply slightly stricter thresholds for promotion. So rather than it being 50% like we have for Senator and Governor, all candidates must reach a minimum of 85% of votes in favour to be promoted. We had 7 staff voting, so that means that towns must receive a minimum of 6 votes in favour. So without further ado, the first town we reviewed was Nuke, and I am pleased to announce that Nuke has been promoted to Premier with a vote of 7-0. So congratulations to Zwoj for now becoming a Premier. He is a conductor in game currently, so won't be physically promoted, but he now does have a Premier city. The second town we reviewed was New Chandigarh by Salted Line. However, the vote for this was 2 in favour and 5 votes against. So unfortunately, at this stage, Salted Line will not be being promoted to Premier. As always, we will be publishing the results document after the meeting, so you will have an opportunity to see all the feedback that was provided. So you'll be able to use that to improve the town. I think generally the consensus was it was pretty close to Premier, and I think the 2 votes in favour do show that. But it needed some attention to the smaller details throughout the town. So that concludes the Premier City reviews. As Chief has just reminded me, we do typically allow people promoted to Premier to have a speech. So if Zwoj does wish to, I'll give him the opportunity now to join the voice channel and give a little speech.
I guess a better question is, Zuj, did you prepare a speech at all? Because I have a feeling you didn't. Oh, you did? Okay. I guess the question is, do you want to speak on stage? Because you don't have to if you don't want to. This would be, you do have everyone's attention here, Zoot, so this would be your only chance. Unless you make another Premier City or something.
I mean, one of us could read it if you send it over. If you read, I want to talk.
That is also true. If you just had the text and you want one of us to read it, we can do that as well. It's up to you. Can we kick the spammer? Someone named Chief Boz X.
Are you serious, Frumple?
Maybe.
I need to check. Okay.
Sorry, Zuj, what's your answer? I'm trying to read chat here. Again, you can come up on stage. Well, and if you want to go on voice chat, you can do it, or you can send us the text, and one of us can read it, or you can leave it till later, and we'll just post your text on the website post. So there's a lot of options here. Okay, Zuji's pulling up the speech up right now. Zuj says he's going to read it. So, yeah. Just go in the voice chat, just push the, it's like the hand symbol to speak on. Oh, there you are. You're here. You might want to unmute yourself and all that. Okay.
Is anyone else seeing animations above some people's heads when they're running around? What is
Yeah,
that?
like the smoke particles. I think it's a banner, but I'm not really too sure.
Since when have we had that?
No clue.
Just for the voting board guys, there are a few absentee ballots have been submitted, so some of those not voted columns might not be relevant. Zuj, if you're there, how much longer do you need?
All right, hi everyone.
Oh.
Yeah, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
we
can.
can.
Perfect.
All right,
Yeah.
cool.
Yes.
So, all right, hold on. My premiere speech. All right, yeah. If I told my past self in 2020 that I would get premiere with a tiny, uninteresting town in the middle of nowhere, he would probably, no, definitely not believe me. And when I started playing on the server, I even wrote a few signs in my town hall documenting the day I got promoted to each rank. And under the Premier's podium sign, I wrote, probably never. I mean, like, where would I get all that motivation from? And also, at that time, Nook was like a side project, and I didn't actually pay attention to it at all. Well, I'll tell you the answer. I got all that motivation from you guys. And yeah, that's right. I got my motivation from all of you. And yes, I know it sounds corny and blah, 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 but it's totally true. Almost every single day I logged on the server, there was always someone who would just teleport to me and check the city out, whether it be one of my server friends or just a random member who wanted to explore. It always motivated me to build more and do better. It always motivated me to try harder and get to that next city rank on the promotion ladder. And before I knew it, 2 years had passed and I had made a bunch of friends and built a ton of stuff, and I was like, wow, I'm governor now. Somehow I had managed to turn a small town into a large city. But I wanted the final rank. I wanted Premiere. I worked really hard at the end of summer 2023 for Premiere, taking suggestions and working together with amazing fellow builders such as Really Tuck and literally everyone who helped work on the Nook Metro, which is like about 10 or so people. Sorry, 1 second. Oh yeah. Thank you, Steven, Athena, Danny, Lesvidamo, Felix, Yoshi, Kingsnake, and Harbor. Your efforts will not go unappreciated. Nook was no longer that tiny town in the spruce forest. It was now a huge, bustling city with multiple things to explore. I am actually like truly honored to be promoted to a premier, and I never thought I'd get this far. And in 2020, it's awesome that I could just hop on the server and just be myself and make friends along the way and just, you know, get this far with the town. I don't know. I never thought building things in Minecraft would actually be this fun, but it is. And it's even more funner when I build all with you guys. And lastly, so this speech doesn't get too long, I want to thank everyone who has helped me along the way to Premiere. That includes every staff member that has ever reviewed my town, along with anyone who's ever visited. Thank you so much. Anyways, on that note, ciao, and I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, and that's my speech.
Thank you very much for that, Swaraj, and congratulations again. After this meeting, as mentioned, we'll be publishing the feedback so you can see some of the thoughts we had about the town that led us to promotion.
Yeah, thank
So-
you. I'm excited to see.
So that now concludes the announcements from the private portion. Congratulations again to Zwoj for his promotion to Premier. We now move on to section 3, which is conductor candidates, of which we have 4 up for this GSM. As normal, I've randomised the list of staff, and one by one we will give our votes of either for, neutral, or against. In order to be promoted, at least 50% of the votes have to be for, and there can't be any more than 2 against. I do have some absentee ballots, so I'll be reading those off from people that have submitted those ahead of time. So first up, as mentioned, is Rainbow Slime, and the first staff member is HVT.
I'll be voting for.
HVT is 4. Next up is Skelly. Skelly is against. AP Red is absentee neutral. 7D is absentee neutral. Empolo.
Neutral.
Vicky is not present and has not submitted absentee. Foot is not present and hasn't submitted absentee. Frumpole.
Neutral.
I am voting neutral. Missa. Missa is neutral. Dinty B is absentee against. Needon is did not provide an absentee ballot, so has not voted. And finally is DNA.
Neutral.
So that is a score of 1 in favour, 7 neutral, and 2 against. I'll go ahead and read the submitted absentee ballots before before we open up to discussion. HUT's for vote was saying that Rainbow. Oh, well, he's here, but he did submit a absentee saying that they were active. AP Red was neutral. The thing that's making him hesitant to say yes is that they almost seem too keen for the ranking game. 7D was neutral because they haven't observed the player that much. and Dinty was against, saying that they don't think Rainbow Slime has the required maturity. They've given a couple of examples, which I will link in meeting live shortly, but they just don't think they just don't think the person provides the correct vibe.
For the folks who voted against here, can you provide some comment?
Yeah, so wait, didn't you provide a comment, right?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry, I missed Dinty, but Skelly, go ahead with your comment.
So for this one, I actually was initially planning to vote neutral, but though I had no real intention of voting for this, is because I did not think that Rainbow Slime had this maturity to be conductor. But after thinking about it some more, I feel like Rainbow Slime has really been a bit too pushy about getting conductor, and that feels like not a real good sign enough to where I felt that I was turned off to from neutral to against. So I'm really in the middle, slightly leaning against. So of course that means that I definitely would not be planning to vote for Rainbow Slime for conductor, unfortunately, at this time.
Okay. I did actually notice the same thing, Skelly. I think I actually talked to Rainbow because I noticed that in public chat they were very keen on the conductor position and talking about it a lot, almost as if kind of expecting that they'll get it. I kind of just told them, like, maybe you shouldn't. It does come off as trying too hard. I basically expressed to them. So, hence, actually, I'm going to change my vote. I'm going to change from neutral to against. Now that I remember that I did that.
I am neutral, but for me, it's just lack of experience. I think, given what's been said, yeah, probably leaning more against, but I just don't know enough about the person to vote either way. But as it stands, that is a significant leaning of neutrals and against, so they will not be promoted this GSM. Any final comments before we move on to the next candidates?
HUD's changing their vote to neutral after hearing, so I will do that. Also, HUD,
thank you.
Them being just active, I don't know if that's good enough for conductor, but sure. So it is now 0, 4, 7 neutral, 3 against.
So that concludes topic 3A. Next up is 3B, which is Pro Call Me Junior. The first staff member was Needon, who has not provided a vote. Next up is Dinty, who is absentee neutral. 7D is absentee 4. AP is absentee 4. HUT. HUT is neutral. Missa is neutral. Vicky has not provided a vote. Skelly. Skelly is 4. Foot did not provide a vote. Frumple.
Neutral.
Empolo.
Neutral, but I can be convinced.
DNA.
4.
And I am 4. So that is 5 in favour and 5 neutral. So as it stands, that would not be a promotion because a minimum of more than 50% is required for promotion. So reading off a couple of votes, Dinty was neutral, not convinced that they have the maturity, but it's not a no per se. HUT's absentee neutral, albeit he's here, was that he hasn't seen Pro Call Me Junior enough. 7D was absentee 4. Like last time, they are friendly and are skilled with world edits. And AP is absentee 4. AP's opinion of Pro Call Me Junior hasn't significantly changed since the last time they came up for conductor, where they also voted for. So I'm happy to start on this. I think, like Skelly, I am a weak 4. Mine is generally just on the player's vibe. I've spoken with Pro Call Me Junior quite a bit, and they always seem pretty respectful. So I'm content with the general impression I've got, as well as their activity now, to be voting in favour.
I'll just mention this. I'm just looking at the records here, or voting records. The Pro Call Me Junior was last looked at for conductor in July. They got 3, 4, 8 neutral, 1 against. Yeah, that's fair, Skelly. I guess the reason I maybe some other people might be voting neutral is we truly don't know what they're like. I'm more curious to hear from people either saying in favor and for, or if there's any particular issues with that candidate, like, you know, say immaturity or something else. From what I'm hearing, though. Okay, it's interesting you mentioned that's good, because I'm trying to. I'll just ask this in general. Are there any issues with Pro Call Me Junior that make people, you know, pause, or are there any neutral votes perhaps that are not of the kind of I don't know this person, but actually that there are some things that give them concern? Yeah, Pro Call's been here, you know, as one of the newer players here, I'd say. So maybe that might take into account, not necessarily being young, but just being new. But
I mean, I've had mostly positive interactions with Pro. He's good at communication, I think, and he seems very polite and patient. So.
So as mentioned earlier, it is still 5-5. So as of currently, it is leaning against the promotion because he hasn't reached greater than 50% threshold. Is there anyone that's considering changing their votes and need more, or are people pretty set in their current vote?
I am thinking about it. Polo, did you have one?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna change for a 4 vote.
Okay. I was gonna do it, but if someone else did, that's fine too.
So with that, it does make it 6-4 in favour. Any closing comments on this ballot?
I'll change my vote also to 4.
Which makes it 7-3. So with that, I think we can close this topic off. That is 7-3. Pro Call Me Junior will be promoted to conductor. Next up is Bobby Gamma, and the first staff member to vote on Bobby is 7D. who has provided an absentee 4. Empolo,
4.
I am neutral. AP has submitted an absentee against. HUT has... Oh, sorry, HUT is here. HUT, go ahead.
I thought he just left.
Oh, has he just left?
He just left, yeah.
Never mind then. Thankfully, he has submitted an absentee neutral. Dinty is absentee neutral. Frumpole.
Neutral.
Vicky has not voted. DNA.
I'm neutral but leaning to against.
Foot Chicken has not provided a vote. Needon has not provided a vote. Missa. Is neutral. And Skelly is neutral.
2.
So that is a vote of 2 in favour, 7 neutral, and 1 against. So to read off a couple of the absentees, 70 is in favour, saying they're friendly and can do welders effectively. HOT is neutral, feel like they've only just recently come back to the server, so isn't yet long enough to be considered. Dinty is neutral with no strong feelings, and AP is a no, saying that they do not believe Bobby has the maturity or world-in-it knowledge to be an effective conductor. The temporary username change to Zooj was one of the key factors for them in not voting, in voting against rather.
I have to ask those that are neutral leaning against here. Is that the same? Does your thoughts match what AP has just said, or do you have anything to add there?
Yeah, I'd say they align fairly well from my view.
I do have to say I'm a little bit surprised because it seems like, 70 and Polo voted for, and then there's people who voted for, there are people voting against, and there's a bunch of people. Like there's a mix here. It kind of, I'm just trying to figure out is that people having different interactions with Bobby, or is it just not being on the same time with him? Like, I just find it very interesting. It's very mixed here.
Well, I wasn't sure about my vote, but I decided to vote for because all my interaction with Bobby have been really positive, and I think I don't have any factors that block me from voting for.
It is interesting. AP also mentioned lack of world edit skills. Are there any specific examples? Like, have there been issues like where it seems like Bobby doesn't know enough world edit, or when he asks for world edit, for example?
I wouldn't say maybe world edit for me, but there's been a couple of instances where I've reviewed a town copy, and they've had a couple land scars, but I'm not really sure that's major enough to change anything. I think he fixed them fairly quickly after I reviewed his town, so maybe that's a contributing factor.
Okay.
I think for me, I'm going neutral. Just it's a bit of a question of maturity, but it's not significant. It's not particularly significant. Hence, I'm not against. It's just a neutral. It's not strong enough for me to vote in favour of Bobby, despite his activity.
Yeah. For me, I feel like because of how I'm a little surprised how mixed it is. Based on that, I think I'm just going to leave it to the rest of the staff to decide, because I feel like I don't have enough information to vote either way. So.
And Skelly's just put in the chat there that he is solidly in the centre, so he wouldn't oppose Bobby being conductor, but doesn't feel he has the skills at the same time. I'm not hearing much more in the way of discussion, so is there any final vote changes required before we close this topic? Currently it is 2 for, 7 neutral, 1 against. I will take silence as no further vote changes, so that so topic 3C does close off with 2 for, 7 neutral, and 1 against, which is not a promotion for Bobby. The final candidate now for conductor is Les Vidimo, and the first person up is Needon, who has not voted. Next up is Frumpel.
Neutral.
Foot Chicken has not voted. Next up is me, and I am against. 70 is absentee 4. DNA.
Neutral.
Helps if I can spell in my own documents. Dinty is absentee neutral. Vicky has not voted. Empolo.
Neutral.
AP Red is absentee 4. Misser is neutral. HUT is absentee 4. And last but not least is Skelly. Skelly is neutral. So currently that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 neutral and 1 against.
6 neutral.
Yeah, you DNA, Dinty, Empolo, Missa, and Skelly I've got as being neutral. 6.
Hold on, I'm just trying to. The last one is 271, so I'm just trying to figure out what went wrong here. Oh, 3-4, not 2-4. There you go.
3-4, yes. So I'll read out the absentee ballots. So HUT has just put in the chat actually that they've had enough positive interactions with Les Vidimo to vote in favour. AP is a 4. Les Vidimo is quite a presence on the server, but when AP has seen them online, they seem eager to help out. 70 is 4, saying they're very enthusiastic and eager to help. And Dinty is neutral, with no strong feelings either way. I am happy to start as I'm the only against, and I need to find one of my pieces of example, which is in one of the planning tabs. Of course, now I can't find it. So here we go. So I will send a link in Meeting Live shortly. So if you go into that link, so I think I was generally neutral on Les Vidimo, but when Felix said that they were going inactive in a planning thread, I was pretty put off by Les Vidimo's response saying no one really cares. I think they are friends, so I'm guessing it was meant as a joke, but actually putting that kind of message in a public channel in the Discord has just really really put me off them being promoted.
Mhm.
I think that's fair enough. I think Felix and as soon as they're cousins, I'm pretty sure. I'm not too sure, but
Yeah, I think they are, but
yeah, it's still
even
not
so,
appropriate for a public
I
channel.
don't like seeing that in a public channel.
Yeah.
I guess this brings up a question, Simon. Like, it would have. I do kind of feel like better if you had brought this up earlier, maybe, because then other staff might be able to look at this and then maybe change their vote. So, because I don't think you've mentioned this before, right?
No, I only noticed this earlier today myself.
Oh, okay, okay. If that's the case, that's fine. But I'm just, we are bringing this up right at the meeting, so I feel like maybe it'd be better if it was sent earlier, basically.
Yeah, apologies. No, I did. It was just happenstance. I did notice that earlier today.
Okay. I guess should we just ask now, like, given what Simon has said here, does that changes anyone's vote here present at this meeting? Okay, hearing none, I guess I'm just reading Skilly. What's Skilly saying here? No.
Skelly, I'm looking through those links. I'm not really sure what the point of the first one is. Sorry. But I do see a point with just general over ambition with projects, if that is the comments.
I guess Skelly, or I don't know, maybe someone else. Like, what are the specific things? If you were to give advice to Les, because eventually they're going to learn about the result of this vote, like, what are specific things that Les could work on, should they try to, get conductor again in the future? Unfortunately, the fours, except, well, yeah, actually, all of them are absentee, even Hut, because Hut might still be around, but I don't think we can give any further comment from 70 or AP. Yeah, Hut, if you have anything to add on your vote, please do. Okay. But yeah.
So I think we're. Sorry, go ahead.
Again, I was just going to reiterate it. What are specific things that Les can improve on for next time?
So for me, and it's probably going to be quite a loose one, but I think just generally demonstrate maturity. I think being able to demonstrate helping out other community members, because I haven't seen. I was originally neutral before I'd seen that comment, but the reason I would have been neutral is just not particularly seeing any example of them helping out other community members before they were given the rank, and as we've discussed, that actually seeing someone being helpful without the rank is a pretty essential trait for them to get promoted, because it shows that they'll do the right thing with it.
Okay, I'm switching Skelly's vote to 4. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it is interesting, Simon, that you say that, but then from what I heard from 7D and AP, it sounded like they did see him being helpful. So I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah, it could just be I haven't seen some of the examples they have.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I guess final call for any other vote changes here. It's currently 4-4, 5 neutral, 1 against. I think they're valid points for and against. I'm just not sure where. It feels like this vote feels like the Bobby's in a way. There's mixed feedback coming here.
I'm not hearing anything, so I think we will assume that there are no further vote changes. So this topic will conclude at 4 in favour. Is it? Have I counted? Oh yeah, sorry, thought I miscounted. 4 in favour, 5 neutral, and 1 against. So that is not a promotion for Les Vidimo.
Okay.
So that concludes the section 3 for conduct candidates. We now go to topic 4A, which is the moderator discussion for Zwoj. And the first person up on that is DNA.
4.
Frumple.
I'm going to say neutral for now.
HVT is an absentee 4. I am 4. AP is an absentee 4. Missa is a 4. Dinty is absentee neutral. Skelly is 4. Vicky has not voted. Empolo.
4.
Needon has not voted. Foot Chicken has not voted. And 70 is an absentee 4.
Okay, so 2 neutral.
So reading off the comments, Dinty is a neutral, saying that they're not immature, but he hasn't seen sufficient evidence to convince him for Zwoj. AP is 4, frankly one of the best conductors we have, and thinks that Zwoj is really suited for mods. HOT is his absentee vote was 4, saying that they've been in the community for a while and have shown maturity through their actions and is a good fit for the position. And 70 is a strong 4, saying that Zwoj is easy to work with and has a very friendly demeanour. They can handle disputes without combusting, as evident in the NPC airport incident. And I just realised, sorry, I hadn't given a vote count. Currently we are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for and 2 neutral with 0 against.
Okay. So, aside from Dinty's neutral vote, my neutral vote is mainly from. Actually, I'll get this out of the way. I think Zuj is a great guy, most active member, very friendly. A lot of good qualities I would want to see in a mod. My only concern is, and it might be the case, I just haven't seen it or haven't seen examples of it, is in terms of like rule enforcement and, like resolving conflicts. To be more specifically, can Zuj be tough when it comes down to it, like when it comes to enforcing rules and ensuring people don't do bad things on the server. Skill, I'm going to ask you, because I do know that you did talk to Zuj before this meeting. I would like to ask you like what was the out result of that? Because that'll probably sway my vote here.
So I was very much on the fence with Zuaj, and the reason why is because I know Zuaj is a bit young, and I'm a bit wary about promoting people who are on the younger side to moderator because it's a serious responsibility to have to resolve conflicts. It's stressful, and um, it's a stressful responsibility that requires disagreeing, being prepared not just for having to enforce the rules, but also for having to disagree with other people, even with other staff members. So so I chatted with Zuaj casually and brought this up because I wanted to see how his temperament was about this, if he understood how the responsibility was. And it seemed to me that he did understand that, yes, being a moderator is different from being a conductor. That does involve getting in serious things which are stressful and that require a different set of skills, I don't know if temperament is the right word, but a different way to proceed than with moderator. And one thing he did bring up, which I do agree with, is that I don't think it's completely fair to expect someone to have proved that they can enforce rules before the moderator, because that's not something that we're asking regular users to do. And in some cases, it's harmful for regular users who aren't mods to do that. But basically, my takeaway from the conversation was that I thought that Zuaj understands Zuaj understands what they're getting into. I think that I think that they have more maturity than some people older than them, and I think that if they consider themselves prepared for the moderator responsibility, then I think that they're ready to do it from what I've seen and from what I took away from that conversation.
Okay, thanks, Skylar. That's enough for me to change my vote to 4. Just regarding your comment about we don't expect conductors, or not conductors, but non staff to be able to like enforce the rules, but there is a sort of like mindset of like if they do see something that's going on, they are calling it out, or at least maybe even DMing people to say, we shouldn't do that sort of thing. Like there are other ways to do that, and I guess you did answer this question. So the main thing I was looking for is what is Zuge's mindset when coming into the mod position? Like, are they coming in understanding that they're gonna have to enforce rules, they're gonna have to make some tough decisions sometimes, versus say someone who like is kind of nonchalant about it, or maybe is too lenient about the rules. That was perhaps maybe my concern there. So, yeah, okay, I'm gonna shut up about this. All 4 except Dinty. So.
Yeah, and Dinty's not here, so won't be changing his vote. So congratulations to Zwoj, who has now had 2 promotions this GSM, getting both Premier and now Mod as well. So that concludes the votes for Conductor and Mod. We now move on to topic 5A, where Frumpel has an announcement about the migration to the Delta server.
Yeah, there's already been an announcement post, there's the FAQ is on the website, but I'll just reiterate it here in case you don't know. The Delta migration is happening. There is a set date. It's happening not this week, but next week, starting on Monday, October 16th. The plan is I'm leaving the whole week reserved to do it, but it might actually take even less time, maybe only a few days. But I'm just, putting that as a contingency just in case things go wrong. There is also a purge event that is happening on the Saturday, October 21st. the purge event might actually happen after Delta opens. I think there are a lot of people, newer people, don't know what the purge is or have never been at a purge event. It's basically we go on to the old server, which would be Zeta, the Zeta main server, and we blow it the fuck up. Basically all the protection plugins will be turned off. Like TNT will be allowed, lava will be allowed. You can spawn all kinds of mobs, whatever. The one thing we'll do, and I think we did this at the last purge, is it'll be a very controlled destruction. Like we're not gonna, when you go on there, we're not gonna let just everybody go in all sorts of directions and blow up whatever the heck. That we found in the past that crashes and lags the server for like 5 minutes. So instead, I'll make a topic next week or something where I'm going to ask people for a list of places that they want to blow up. I'm assuming Nuke is probably one of them. I'm assuming Marina Shuttle is probably one of them. Central City is usually a good popular place to do it. But we're just going to compile a list, and then we'll just go through. We'll just all when we go on the server, we'll all collect together and just blow up things one by one and make sure. And it'll at least delay the crash of the server, which it could still eventually do it, but at least you'll be able to see some popular places on the server get destroyed. So okay, that's it. If there are any questions about this, you can ask them at the Q&A portion of this meeting later. So
Thanks so much. We now move to our two final topics, both of which were deferred from the Discord proposals channel into the GSM agenda. The first one is looking at Central City Crossrail, which is proposed by Elite Neon. I'd suggest staff that you have a look through the proposal has been copied in the agenda, but the discussion is all within that Discord proposal.
I do have to ask Simon, were there any absentees on the topic 6 topics?
There were 2, if I can grab those. So AP is for, saying he's up for more transit connections in Central City. HUT is against, saying that it seems unnecessary and could be met with a bus line instead.
And I find it funny that those absentee ballots are reflective of how the vote was split in the Discord topic too. Like, this was deferred because there are some people in for and some people against, it seems. So we need to figure out what to do about this.
I mean, I'm happy, given it is a community city, to sort of open it up to the public and ask for people's opinions in meeting live and just see what the general community vibe is, as well as staff.
I agree with that. Let's open up to the floor. If you have what are you guys' opinions about our staff here too? Like what is this? Do you think it's a good idea or a bad idea?
I think for me, I'm leaning very much leaning towards AP's judgment, where actually I think it could be a cool project. I'm hesitant about setting a precedent, because clearly I don't want 20 new rail lines cropping up, but I think this particular one that is proposed is quite a good idea and links some fairly major connections in a fun way.
London, to answer your question, yes, it is in the proposal does say it is a warp rail.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see any negatives with this at all, so I'm not going to be against it at all.
Simon, when you say precedent, are you is there a worry that if we approve this, some other people might just other people will just spam us proposals about building more warp rail through Central City?
Exactly, yeah. So I'm hesitant that next week we see 10 people wanting to build other rail lines through Central City, and it's just not a precedent I'm wanting to set. But I think that's a fairly low risk, and actually that if we do see that, it can be controlled, because ultimately everything like that would have to go through proposals.
Could we solve this by just saying that this is a one-off, like because it is a special kind of project. We could just say it is kind of a special project that will connect certain things in Central City.
We can, but I think we've said other things are one-off when we construct in Central City, like the heliport, the warp rail terminus. So I think there's always room for there's always room for that to be expanded. But generally, yeah, I wouldn't see any other key links like this needed.
Okay. Okay, so I'm just reading just some of the feedback. Fred is yes in my backyard, so he's in favor of this. Polo is no strong feelings. Other than HUT, were there any other... I'm just going to read the thread again. Were there any other... I'm just looking at who voted. Oh, okay. Nita and Vicky voted no, but they're not here to provide any reasoning why they voted that way. I guess if there are people who are so against this project, I would have kind of expect them to speak up more about it.
Or submit absentees.
Yeah, yeah. So based on that, other than HUD, what I'm hearing is either just sort of like, okay, they have no strong opinion, or they're in favor of it. So it is kind of leaning in that direction.
And likewise, I haven't seen anything against in meeting live, so I'm suspecting the majority view is let's allow it.
Yeah, I was somewhat expecting like maybe a little bit of fierce debate about it because of how split the vote was, but I'm not seeing that here. So
I think unless there's any staff opposition now, we can just go ahead and say approved.
okay, the last chance for anyone to speak up about it. Otherwise, we will approve it.
Let's call that approved.
All right.
Then finally, we have an IoT of Four Seasons bus. Again, this was a deferred proposals post due to insufficient votes.
Yeah, this one only got up to 6 votes, which is just one shy, but technically by the rules, it's not enough. So
yeah, I'm in favour of this. Is there any one that's significantly against that wants to represent their position?
also, I'll just say as just a general thing for everyone here, if you are submitting an IAT, please make sure that you get all your ducks in order beforehand. Like, make sure you have the permission, or make sure you at least attempted to contact the original owner either by Discord if they have it, or in-game mail. We're seeing a lot of IATs lately where people haven't done that, and that causes delays. And in this particular case, I don't think it's Avanicia's fault here. I think it was a case of they didn't know who the owner was, so they post this to try to figure that out. But in general, please do try to do your due diligence before you post.
I'm not hearing any opposition, so unless we hear anything in the next 5 seconds, it will be a vote in favour. Okay, this is approved given no resistance. So that concludes all of the topics for the October 2023 GSM. All that remains now is opening up the Q&A for any questions. So if you do have any questions, please note something in the meeting live channel or /e in game. So either ask a question in that channel directly, or if you'd like, we can also add you to the stage. So if you're wanting to speak, just let us know in meeting live that you are wanting to be added to the stage.
And this includes any questions you have about Delta migration coming next week.
And with silence and nothing going into meeting live, we can call the proceedings to an end. Thank you everyone for coming along. Congratulations again to our promotees, Procorma Junior, who was awarded the rank of conductor, and Zwoj, who got both Premier for his town of Nuke and also got promoted to mod. Zwoj, please pass over your Premier acceptance speech if it is written down to me, and then we can also post that to the website for everyone to read.
Simon, I can handle all of the staff stuff for Zuj. So, yeah, I can go through the checklist.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Right, cheers all. I think a couple of us will go into general channel and we can chat in there.
Yeah. Thanks for